Let's take a look at some examples of that. So take us through this first clip, what we see here and what you like about it.
Well, here's a classic example. So you're going to get Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel actually lines up in the backfield, and he's going to run a Texas route. And the thing that he does here is that, most of the time these Texas routes are run by running backs. Well, Deebo Samuel gives you that kind of that Elijah Moore kind of feel that you want. So he's actually going to be 4 strong. So he's 4 strong. So you got 3 receivers up top. And as a defense, because they're in man coverage, because he's in the backfield, he's actually 4 strong. If you count outside in 1, 2, 3, 4, he becomes the linebacker's responsibility, which here he is against Vander Esch from the Cowboys, and this is a mismatch. And this is this is not a complex scheme. They're going to clear with the top 3. They're going to run a Texas route with Deebo Samuel, and they're going to get him matched up on Vander Esch. And once again, this is the players over plays, and this is what I mean by is like finding a matchup you like and getting it to your guy in space, and he's the master of it. He does a great job, and this is one example.
Yeah, and that's something you and I have talked about for the better part of a couple of years, kind of getting the ball in your hands of some playmakers that give you some easy yards. So when we look at this second clip, take us through what you see here and what you like with this one as well.
So this is just the idea of, you get a long distance, you get a long yardage, long distance you need, and just getting the ball to McCaffrey in space. And they do it a bunch of different ways. And I put the screen on here. This actually got called back because of holding. But they do a bunch of different things with McCaffrey in terms of putting him in space, putting him out of the backfield. They line him up in backfield. They use him as window dressing. They use him as a decoy. But primarily, he's the primary guy in their offense. And what he does is he allows everybody else to be successful because he's the guy the defense has to keep their eye on. So here's just a really good play. They get caught in the blitz. Really good call by Shanahan, which tells me, they know down the distance. And he does a great job of not only scheming things, but it's very, very simple. This is just a guard, center, guard screen, and McCaffrey makes a couple guys miss. But again, best players touch the football for the San Francisco 49ers, and that's why they're successful.
And look at how much space he has when he gets that. There's one white jersey and 4 of his teammates to deal with it. So again, kind of getting the ball to people where they can pick up some easy yards, some uncontested yards. The other thing that we know, and we talked about this after the Ravens game, motion has been a problem for the Browns, and that can be something that's a bonus and something that is definitely a strength for an offense.
Well, the thing about the 49ers is their motion is really unique. So he's started this sneak motion, or where the slot receiver will motion out to the sideline, which is kind of new this year. But their motion is late and fast. And whether they go in, whether they go out, whether they go across the formation, they put immediate stress on a defense because they go so fast with their motion. So here you're going to get the fullback, who is an outstanding guy. He plays a bunch of different positions. He's a true fullback, but he can do a bunch of things. So if you watch the play down at the bottom, he's going to motion out. And as he motions out, Curse, the strong safety for the Cowboys, is going to move with him. Also, Gilmore, the corner, is also going to move out because he now becomes the number 1 receiver. And by doing that, everybody's in man coverage everybody's in zone coverage except for Curse. Curse runs with the fullback. What that does, it leaves a huge window. Now, a little coaching point is that you're going to see at the top of the screen, McCaffrey's going to leave the backfield to the left. That's going to take the eyes of both top linebackers, and then what you get is you get this huge window. So by simply motioning the fullback to the sideline, they create this huge window, make an easy throw for Purdy. And this is what I think the Browns got to do. They got to make Purdy push the ball downfield, because if he throws the ball under 15 yards, he's outstanding. And Shanahan does a great job of scheming this up where he gets these easy routes. So this is a great scheme. They get what they want. Everybody's in zone except for one guy. They cause a mix-up, and once again, it's because of the late, fast motion.
Yeah, and you can see, again, those are easy yards. For an NFL quarterback, there's nobody within 5 yards of him. So, again, those easy yards schemed up by that. Take us through this another play with motion, what you see in this clip.
So what you get here, this is just a simple, they run just a shuffle motion. Another thing that I've seen a bunch this year in the NFL, So if you look at McCaffrey, he's going to go in motion. What that does is that's going to take those two linebackers, both the middle linebacker and the outside linebacker, and they immediately get their eyes on the running back. So again, this is eye candy. So by simply motioning McCaffrey a little bit, he's going to open up that dig route for AU coming on that about 12 to 18 yard dig, 12 to 15 yard dig. And that's all because of simply motioning McCaffrey. Usually he would just run an arrow route there, but by simply adding motion is going to immediately grab the eyes of everybody involved. And you can see both these linebackers go with the width, and it opens Ayuk up on this dig route. So again, nothing fancy here in the scheme. This is an over-under route. You have an over and you have an under, and he picks the over because everybody runs with McCaffrey. So again, scheme and motion really open this up for the 49ers.
And again, when you motion somebody late in a play, the defense natural reaction is to adjust, which is why so many people do it. When you move somebody around the formation, the defense has to figure out, okay, who's accounting for him because he's in a different spot.
Yeah, and they do a great job with motion. They do a great job of opening passing lanes. They do a good job of getting more numbers in the run game, so they're going to have more blockers than you. They do a really good job of creating angles for guys so they can block down or block out. So they're really easy angles for guys who maybe are smaller or blocking defensive end. So they do a good job with their motions. There's a purpose to their motion. Some people motion just the motion. There is a direct purpose for Kyle Shanahan's motion, and it's really impressive when you watch on film.
So these last couple of clips, take us through what you like about this and why these are important.
Well, once again, you did. So everything we've talked about is just the idea of how do you run what you run and make the defense not run to it and maybe not understand. So this is just going to be a counter to the left. But what they do, first they put Deebo Samuel at tailback. So going back to the first point, players over plays. Next, what they do is they're going to run a toss sweep action in the backfield to the right. But in all reality, if you look, the fullback and the thing, they're going to pull up to the left. So it's actually going to be the tight end and the fullback. They're actually going to run a counter back to the left. So he's just with that pitch motion. Shanahan's just trying to get the linebackers in the second level to flow to their left so Deebo Samuel can cut it all the way back to his left. And this is what you get. This is just a counter, and you just add a little bit of toss sweep, a little eye candy, and you get a big run from Deebo Samuel.
And again, this is a staple play that they have, and they kind of put a little bit of a spin on it by motioning the guy a little bit opposite of where they're going to run.
And they just toss, what they do, so they take that counter left, and instead of just a handoff, they're going to toss it to the right. And what that does is that immediately makes those linebackers run. So the eye candy they use is movement, shifts, motions especially. But on this particular play, it's just the idea of we're going to run our counter to the left, but we're going to do it differently than everybody else does it. And that's another thing he does is that he takes his base plays and he just does them differently than everybody else. And so you're not practicing all the time against them, and you're not seeing it all the time. And it just creates these big windows just because he window dresses it so well.
So let's take a look. This is the last clip. We'll take a look at kind of a similar thought behind it as well.
So here's what you got. So on the start of this play, the play is not all the way from the beginning, and I could not get it from the beginning. But what you get is McCaffrey actually starts in the backfield, and he's going to work his way out with motion to an empty set. Now, once again, as he get out there to the empty set, he's a decoy. So obviously him being a primary receiver, everybody, again, with motion, eye candy goes over here to the left to McCaffrey. He's actually going to just cell screen. And all this is just a quick screen to Samuel. And they run this out of a bunch of different sets. But again, he does it differently. He's going to run it out of empty, and he's going to, give you a little bit of eye candy with McCaffrey motioning over to the right pre-snap. So again, just a little attention to detail from Shanahan is so impressive in everything they do offensively.